Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Coffee and Cannoli podcast. As the Dropkick Murphys would say, hail, hail, the gang's all here. And because of that, we have another wrestling episode because Caps has joined us again. It's been a while since we've done one, so welcome back, Caps. So Caps is right below the gentleman on my side over here, the Putty Man. Ooh. And right below me, we have Campo. There we go. On this episode, long story. On this episode, we're talking about wrestling. We're talking about the greatest wrestling managers of all time. We're going to go through our top 5 wrestling managers, some honorable mentions, and some other fun wrestling talk, if we can remember what we said. With that, I'm going to go, Caps, you're going to start off with your number 5.
All right, number 5, Jimmy Hart.
All right. Putty?
Oh, wait. Okay.
Are we okay?
Yeah, I think we're okay. All right. My number 5 is Jim Cornette.
All right, Campo?
Well, good thing I just have it memorized now. My number 5 is Paul Bearer.
My number 5 is a Caps between Jim Cornette and Paul Bearer.
A little Jim, a little Paul?
Little Jim, a little Paul. Slim Jim. John Paul Jones.
Nice.
Number 4 for me is Paul Heyman.
Oh, my turn? Okay.
Yeah.
Number 4 for me is Bobby the Brain Heenan.
All right.
Yeah, number 4 for me is Jimmy Hart.
And number 4 for me, appropriately enough, is the man who held the 4 horsemen together, and that's J.J. Dillon.
My number 3 is Paul Bearer.
My number 3 is Paul Heyman.
My number 3 is Caps between Jim Cornette and J.J. Dillon. The Dill Pickle.
The Dill Pickle. Dilbert.
Dilbert.
My number 3 is the advocate for Brock Lesnar, Paul Heyman.
Like how you said advocate. You had to get that in there, eh?
Why would you say that? I don't understand that. Was there like a conversation I wasn't part of? Okay.
Who's next?
Cap, you're number 2.
My number 2 is Jim Cornette.
My number 2 is Paul Bearer.
My number 2 is Paul Heyman.
And my number 2 is Jimmy Hart.
All right, my number 1 is Bobby Heenan.
My number 1 is Jimmy Hart.
My number 1 is Bobby the Brain Heenan.
And my number 1 is the correct answer, and that's Bobby the Brain Heenan.
What?
That's a full call out on Putty. I expect an explanation at some point.
Yes.
You used the same one you did before.
Shut up, Ken.
I love this
video. You don't know what
already.
you're talking about.
I already love this video.
All right. Caps, go through your list again.
Oh, shoot.
Again.
All right. Going through my list for the 4th time.
The fact that you have to look at it is what scares me.
I have to make it seem authentic. All right, number 5, Jimmy Hart. Number 4, Paul Heyman. Number 3, I did something before last time I mentioned Paul Bearer, right? Oh, yes. Paul Bearer. Number 2, Jim Cornette. Number 1, Bobby Heenan.
Got off the rails.
The Paul Bearer got me.
He's crying over here.
I can't wait to rewatch this video for the
right.
7th time.
Buddy, are you okay?
To mention my honorable mention.
No one's got any clue exactly why I'm laughing at you.
They're not allowed to know. No one's allowed to know.
No one's allowed to know.
No one's allowed to know.
It's a secret.
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
My top 5 is Jim. My number 5 is Jim Cornette. My number 4 is.
He sounds like he's been crying.
God, he sounds like Paul Bearer.
Oh yes. My number 4 is Bobby the Brain Heenan. Oh god. My number 3 is Paul Heyman. My number 2 is Paul Bearer, and number 1 is Jimmy Hart. Oh man, this is not happening.
Let me teach you about showbiz, all right? My number 5, Paul Bearer. My number 4, Jimmy Hart. My number 3, a tie between J.J. Dillon and Jim Cornette. My number 2, Paul Heyman. My number 1, the right choice, Bobby the Brain Heenan.
My number 5, Jim Cornette and Paul Heyman. Number 4, J.J. Dillon. Number 3, Paul Heyman. Number 2, Jimmy Hart. And number 1, the correct answer, Bobby the Brain Heenan. All right, guys. Thank you. So
Thank you for watching.
good night.
Oh,
All right,
man.
let's get into some picks that didn't make the list, i.e., like Captain Lou Albino.
Wasn't I supposed to do something about
Lou
you?
Albino. I forgot about Captain Albino. He can be whatever he wants. If he wants to be an albino, he can do it. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
Well, I don't know where I was on script. Okay, hold on.
There is no script.
All right, I got a few here, but let me talk. Okay, no, the elephant in the room hasn't happened yet. Okay, so can I just make a joke about the whole thing about Virgil being the manager to Ted DiBiase and then Ted DiBiase being a manager to Virgil?
No,
And they just swapping out. I don't
Can
remember.
Can I talk about how Ted DiBiase was a really good heel?
yes, he was in a time that no, he's right. There was a time when the company needed a heel. Like Macho Man just transitioned into being a babyface, so they had no top heel to go after the title at the time.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. It's my turn, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roddy Piper was a really good heel. And
Can we just keep Buddy out of this video?
Please, this one's gonna get me all the views. Is Putty laughing over here?
Hey, man.
I'm just gonna call this video "Putty Loses It."
We're just gonna clip you for a short.
I love the reenactment of everything.
I don't like how you're actually crying right now. What are you saying about Roddy Piper?
Well, because you guys mentioned that Ted DiBiase was a really good heel back in the day. I think you said that.
Yeah.
And Roddy Piper was a great heel too. And Roddy Piper was a really good face when he came back for making that.
Even when he was a face, he was a heel.
Yeah. I don't think he
was
ever
a
really
jerk.
changed.
Yeah, he's just a jerk. It's a lot of
People just cheered him.
Yeah, but he went to make
They Live.
They Live.
Yeah.
And,
He should have come back with Keith David as his manager.
Keith David as his manager, and they could have faced Mr. T and Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan, right?
There's no ad libbing.
But I actually would have paid to watch that.
I would have seen Keith David fight
Keith
Mr.
David,
T.
that was a good fight. Let's be honest. Keith David could have been a wrestler with that performance.
He could have been. He actually was. If you've ever played, was it Saints Row 4?
Oh yeah, isn't he in like a whole bunch of it, and then he does the fight scene with Roddy.
Yeah. So Keith David is what, the vice president in Saints Row or something like that, or the minister of like defense or something like that. And there's a scene where he runs into Roddy Piper in an alleyway, and they recreate the entire fight scene in this game with Keith David.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah,
all 25 minutes of it.
all 25, one quarter of the movie.
Then he just puts the glasses on. And if anybody's seen that movie, you know that Piper gets the crap kicked out of him for the whole thing, but still somehow wins the fight in the end.
With a spine buster, wasn't it?
Spine buster. Yeah, on concrete.
On concrete.
Just to get him to wear some glasses, by the way.
All because he didn't want to wear those stinking glasses.
I don't want to wear stinking glasses.
Listen here, you crazy mother.
I think we're talking about honorable mentions, right?
Yeah. We're still on the honorable mentions.
Bill Alfonso and the Slickster.
The Slickster.
Slickster.
Jai Soul Bro.
Yeah.
What about
Gay Campos?
Yeah, I'll survive.
It seems so authentic.
It is. It's all real.
It's all
100%.
real. 100%.
There's zero things are planned.
There's no script.
This is not sports entertainment. This is
the script out the window.
10 minutes before Raw.
Well,
yeah, just call me Vince.
At this point, we don't even have.
God damn it! I don't like that script.
No one's gonna give love to Mr. Fuji. I stole your line, JD. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. You stole my line. Nobody's gonna give love to Mr. Fuji.
I mean, but Mr. Fuji is like, I didn't really get a chance to talk about this, but he's actually not a good manager. He's iconic in the sense that the people he was with and he was there, but like he sucked.
Yeah. I mean,
like I never really liked that character. I just vividly remember it, so I have to give him credit.
Because Mr. Fuji he managed Demolition for a while, didn't he?
Didn't he manage Owen Hart?
Yeah, and Yokozuna.
Yeah.
And then what happened was, I don't know what happened, where that transition went to, because I remember for a while it was Fuji and Cornette both managing
Yeah,
Because I think
Right?
they needed someone to speak
Yeah.
English.
maybe.
But Mr. Fuji speaks English. That was fake, his accent.
Was it? No, because I just like I
Mr.
wasn't
Fuji
sure.
had to translate for
I don't know,
Yokozuna, who was not actually Japanese.
Who is Samoan?
He was Samoan.
Who's like The Rock's cousin or something.
Long lineage of wrestlers there. Did Fuji manage someone before Demolition? I can't remember.
Fuji was a wrestler before. He was
Yeah.
tag team champion before he was a manager.
Yeah,
I know
but
he
that
used to
was-
be a wrestler.
I know, like in the '80s, like he was like at the tail end of his wrestling career.
Yeah, I think Demolition was the first team. I could be mistaken. You know, we got a whole Costa Rica.
Oh, we
Puerto
don't want to have
Rico's-
that situation again. Definitely not. Okay, so I actually have a question.
Sure.
Putty, how do you not have Bobby the Brain?
Oh yeah, let's
at
talk
number
about the
one?
elephant in the
Yeah.
room. I forgot to
Let's
say
talk about that.
Yes. Why is Bobby the Brain Heenan
Let's
not
talk
your
about
number
the
one?
Babar in the room.
Okay, so I there was around the time. God, I gotta. It was around the time that just being honest. It was just around the time Jimmy Hart was more flamboyant as a character. So he was very at that time Paul Heyman for me was for another list. It was different. You know what I mean? It wasn't what I was looking for as far as a manager, and I wasn't really paying attention to managers.
You didn't catch that.
No, I didn't catch that.
You said Heyman.
Did I say Heyman?
You said Heyman.
Heenan. See, hey, this is what happens when you do this for the first time.
Mistakes will happen.
Yes.
They didn't follow the script.
I didn't know there was.
Vince McMahon threw it out 10 minutes before the show.
Okay, this is a shoot. All right.
I forgot that we did a test run of this. All right. So,
Putty, are you gonna be all right?
Buddy's gonna lose it.
stop. But yeah, I just like Jimmy Hart. Okay, I like the more very outgoing, charismatic. Yes, thank you. The charismatic Jimmy Hart, the Paul Bearers. Paul Heyman continued that tradition, but he continued it where he took what was the best of Heenan, and I feel like the best of those other characters as far as pulling back on the flamboyance, but also still having that but
he has that presence.
Face.
Yeah, he's not as flamboyant.
He fully has a Jim Cornette presence without the dumb look.
Yeah.
Like
he had the didn't he have the cell phone for a while? Dangerous.
Okay, Paulie Dangerously. We're not.
He's not the same person, okay?
No, but yeah, you're right. He did have that character, but his WWE character is he embodies like the talking of Cornette, but with like the feel of Heenan, because he talks a lot of crap, and that was like Cornette's specialty, just shoot crap the whole time. And you got to give Heenan credit.
Yeah.
He's number 2 on my list. I really think
now you're confusing it.
What did I say?
You said Heenan.
Heenan's number 1 on my list. Heyman's number 2. But no, for real though, Heyman is a special character that doesn't get enough credit for what he does. Especially, he was also great on the announcing table.
Yeah,
he was ECW, man. He was ECW.
He was.
I remember this part. This is the part where I say Heenan took
Heyman.
what he did.
No,
and what we're going to say in that other video.
In the next video.
Yeah.
If somebody remembers to hit record.
Yeah. And there was no one like him where Jesus. And he was able to piss people off in a way that made himself separate from everyone else. And this is part of the reason why that I have him at number 1.
Yeah, absolutely.
So good at what he does.
He was the
for
best.
God's
period.
sake, give the guy a napkin.
Give the guy a napkin.
The Weasel. There was the whole Weasel. I remember when he put him in the Weasel suit. Bobby the Weasel.
Bobby the Weasel.
Bobby Heenan had his own chant. Weasel.
Yeah.
I mean, geez, I don't think
Burger King. Jerry Lawler had the Burger King chant.
Have it your way.
Have it your way.
You know what? Who would have been a great manager is Dusty Rhodes.
I agree. Actually, I agree.
Yeah.
He would have, but I think he
I
was
came on
also
Hard
a really,
Times.
really good. Yeah, he was a really good wrestler too.
Yep, baby. The incomparable Tony Schiavone, baby. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think he would have been a really good manager if you put him
Because he
into,
was a great talker. Yeah.
Yeah.
You need that mouthpiece.
You put him for like a baby face, a really good wrestling baby face, and he would have been really good,
Yeah.
I think.
Well, a guy like someone more recently that I was saying before is who's made a great transition into managing is Jake the Snake, who now manages Lance Archer in AEW, where Lance Archer doesn't need to speak, and Jake's such a good speaker that you listen to when Jake speaks. So this way, like it really elevates the character for Lance Archer. He's just this machine that destroys
He's
people.
been out though. How long has he been out?
He's been out for a few months now, Archer. Yeah. And that's why we haven't seen Jake in a while, too.
Well, Jake's been out because the company's trying to protect him. Because he's older and
he's not in the greatest of health right now.
Yeah, so you don't want to put him at risk right now.
He has was it COPD?
I don't even remember.
It's like some sort of respiratory disease.
Yeah.
So if he catches COVID, he's dead.
If he gets COVID, it's not good. So they're trying to help him out. But I mean, you're right.
Well,
he is
Jake,
good.
Jake the Snake hasn't been there long enough to, really.
But he's been good at what he did there.
Yeah.
And I think who was Marco
Stunt?
Marco Stunt. That's like, I don't even know if you consider him a manager. I mean,
he's more of a mascot than anything. He still wrestles. Like we're still going back to like, and you can also like we're saying about Sting. You could put Sting in that too, where he's not managing Darby Allin. He's more of a mentor to Darby Allin because he still wrestles, but he's kind of like taking him under his wing. So, but yeah, Father James Mitchell. Anybody remember him? The manager of Mortis Canyon, the weird looking priest.
Oh yeah, I remember him now.
The eyebrows guy.
The eyebrows guy.
What was his name?
The Sinister Minister.
Sinister Minister.
And
that's so good.
If anybody didn't watch Dark Side of the Ring with Chris Canyon, they need to watch that episode. It was
Chris Canyon.
Who was Canyon with? Wasn't he partnered with somebody?
David Flair for a while, wasn't he? Crowbar?
DDP?
Was it David Flair?
No, there's Crowbar too. Canyon and Crowbar.
Wasn't there Chronic? Wasn't Chronic and one of them went with Canyon, Chris Canyon after?
It was Brian Jones? No, Brian Adams. Not the singer Brian Adams, but the other Brian Adams.
All six, didn't I?
No, there was Brian Adams. He was and Brian Clark, the guy. One of them was Crush. Yeah, one was Crush. The other one was Adam Bomb.
Yes. There you go. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, Crush and Adam Bomb were tag team for a while, and they were Chronic. Brian Clark and Brian Adams.
Yeah.
Weren't they part of DOA as well when Undertaker had his?
Yeah, I think so. Then
nails.
They went to WCW, then they came back.
I don't think Adam Bomb was a part of the DOA though.
Crush was.
Yeah.
And the two bald dudes, the Harris twins there, the Harris, whatever they're called.
One of them was, and I think the other guy was Undertaker's imposter.
Yeah, that's Brian Adams.
Yeah.
That's him. That's the guy from Chronic. It was Adam Bomb.
That's Gray Boots Undertaker.
Yes. Gray Boots Undertaker. that was what? SummerSlam. That was a good one. That was a good one.
One of the best entrances for Undertaker, I remember.
Yeah. That was his big return. That's when he came back with the mask, wasn't it?
No. That's when he came back as the purple suit. The purple coat. The mask came later on. I think Mabel messed up his face or something.
Mabel.
Yeah, he sat on his face.
Mabel he was a big dude. Putty, you recovered over there?
Oh no, I'm good. I just you just don't implant the thoughts when you start saying record or anything else. But I remember I mean for the first time I know I said Theodore Teddy Long, but he's a show manager. Did we said Lou Albino? Right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm good. Stop.
Camp, I think you got one who didn't get mentioned.
Harley Race.
Yeah.
There was another one too.
Yeah, there's another one too. Gary Hart.
Playboy Gary Hart. You got it.
One more.
I'm not naming it. I'm going to let JD name it.
Kevin Sullivan. Managed the Dungeon of Doom for a while with the Yeti.
Oh,
yeah. What about the Dungeon of Legion of Doom?
Paul Ellering.
Paul
Ellering was another one, Paul Ellering, though, he was only known with the Road Warriors Legion of Doom, right? He wasn't.
I that's why he's not on my list. But to me, in my opinion, he's equally as iconic as the guys on my list, especially for what he did for them. But he was only with them, and when he even made a comeback, all he did was try to remake LOD 2000, and then he tried to make another team later on in WWE with two guys that ended up wearing like body armor. I don't remember what their names were.
Oh, was it recently too?
Yeah, it was NXT guys that came over to WWE, and they tried to make them into the new
LOD,
basically.
Hey,
we got Cap's going off the rails now
did you
too.
guys know that Paul Ellering was LOD's actual manager and actually was in control of their finances and rented their hotel rooms and rented their cars, and
He
They
did
were
their
really,
bookings
really,
too.
really popular. They were
Yeah.
so popular. They were just like a money printing machine, and I guess that helps. He was probably making more money than they were off of them.
He was probably making just as much.
Yeah, because like he definitely milked their deal with WWE. Like,
Well, no, he wasn't in WWE. That's the thing. When Road Warriors
you're
came
right,
to
you're right,
WWE
you're right.
as the Legion of Doom, they ditched Ellering.
Well, they still got money from WCW.
Yeah.
when Paul Ellering was when he came out with the newspaper, that was actually like the business section, and he would actually like always look into the business section. He was really involved in business,
investing properly,
investing, and all that stuff. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure he must have helped them a lot, because I'm sure those two guys did not make any smart decisions throughout their career.
Hawk.
Yeah. Well, now they both passed away now, Hawk and Animal.
Oh man.
Pet Cemetery. R.I.P.
R.I.P. LOD. And on that note, if nobody else has anything else to say,
No, not at all.
no, not this time, Putty. Control yourself today. On that note, everyone, thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you all next time.